Ladies and gentlemen, ponder this for just a moment. You're in a room, could be the doctor's office, a pub, the dentist's waiting room, and someone walks in and completely changes the atmosphere of the room. They could have lightened it or they could have dampened it, but their existence in that room, in that moment, has changed the state of the room, the vibe, the atmosphere. Now, why is this the case? This is the case because of that individual's energetic frequency. If a person has a more elevated energetic frequency, they naturally will bring a state of joy, abundance, happiness, and things like that externally to the people around them, but they will also attract good things in as a result. And on the flip side of that, if a person has a very low energetic frequency, they'll do the exact opposite. They'll repel the things that they want and they'll bring about sort of misery, anxiety, discomfort to those around them. Now, energetic frequency goes far beyond that of just lightening or dampening a room. And in fact, it's one of the sort of unseen laws that govern our universe. Everything is energy. Everything is frequency. And believe it or not, through certain practices and processes, you can in fact guide and manipulate and utilize energetic frequency to create and build the kinds of reality you would like to experience. Whether that's in a relationship sense, whether that's in a money sense, in a confidence sense, in a opportunity sense, if you elevate your energetic frequency, your aura, for want of a term, I know that's been sort of memeified lately, but your aura, you will naturally find opportunities, people, and things finding their way to you. So what I want to do today is give you 4 things that you can do to elevate your energetic frequency so you can go through life having things naturally fall at your feet in the way that you would like. We want you lightening the room when you walk into it, not dampening it. So if you enjoy this kind of video, drop me a like and a comment, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. So the first thing is mission. Now, as far as I am sort of tangibly aware, as far as evidence that I have in my back pocket, this is the only life that we are going to live. Therefore, I want you to live a life of purpose and meaning, which is why I've put it first here. But as far as energetic frequency goes, having a life's purpose that you are pursuing actually makes such a huge difference. The reason being, not having a purpose is just living, surviving. You're not thriving, you're not really accomplishing much. You kind of just get up, go to work, get home, eat, sleep, get up, go to work, get home, eat, sleep. And for the vast majority of people in this situation, they're kind of just bobbing their head above the water to take a couple of breaths here and there. Living paycheck to paycheck, struggling, for want of a better term. Because they're not making more of their life than just going through the motions, which in and of itself isn't necessarily a bad thing. And I wouldn't say that that's going to put you at a low energetic frequency. It's just not optimal, and it's not the best way to live if you want to really make use of the universe's principles. So by having a mission, you now are operating less from survival and going with the motions, and more from a disciplined space, a persistent space, a consistent space. And if your mission is that of giving in some form or another, whether it's charity work, whether it's teaching someone something that you know, whether it's giving time to help people in whatever capacity, by giving, you absolve yourself of need. If you are no longer in a state of need, you are in a state of neutrality or abundance. We get more of what we are, not what we want. So if your mission is that of giving, 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 you are stating that you are in abundance of this thing, and therefore your reality will reflect that. So by having a mission, something to pursue, not only is it building your character up as a whole through learning discipline, learning to be consistent and patient and so on, which are all things that are going to help elevate your life anyway, but the very act of that mission is going to put you in a more abundant state of consciousness, which is going to give you more things in return. Assuming You are doing this from a genuine personal drive and not doing to get. Because if you're doing to get, you've kind of entered an unwritten contract that has the baseline of lack. Ideally, you want to do things because you enjoy it, and if you get something in return, that's a bonus, not necessarily the only reason that you are doing it, because then you're chasing the thing in return, and if you're chasing something, it has to run away from you. Just as this diagram shows here, if you are not chasing, that opens you up to be chased. If you're chasing something, it will run away. And this is why people that may have amazing business ideas that work all day, every day, grinding it out from fear, panic that it won't work, desperation, won't succeed anywhere near as much as the person who does less work, but from a more confident, of course, this is going to work. I'm going to hit the right notes at the right time and get the right outcomes and right emails. And typically it goes well. So the first thing that I want you to start doing is find a life's mission. It does not matter what it is. It could be music, it could be charity work, it could be teaching people how to have better sex lives on YouTube. It does not matter. Find a mission, find a calling that you feel like is the reason that you are here, and start working towards it. Start being disciplined in it, start sharing your knowledge if you've got it, sharing your time if you've got it, whatever it is. For me personally, it's music and helping people build better lives. Therefore, I'm a vocalist in a band, which is doing great. And I am also on YouTube trying to help you create a reality you want. I'm doing my life's mission, and I'm more fulfilled than I've ever been before. And I'm more successful in every endeavor of my life than I ever was before. Just simply because my energetic frequency is higher, because I'm now a more disciplined person, a more patient person, a more persistent person. I've got a mission, I'm giving, and so on. Now, the second point is gratitude. Start being grateful. And that can be for anything. A good way to practice gratitude is just writing out a couple of things, maybe morning and night, in a little notebook that you are grateful for. Now, it does not have to be, the most ridiculous, I'm grateful for this absolutely massive thing. It could be something as simple as, I'm grateful that I've got a roof over my head when it's raining. I'm grateful that I've got a group of friends that I can go to when I'm sad. I'm grateful that I've got YouTubers that I can watch when I just need a little pick-me-up. By practicing gratitude, you are elevating your state of abundance, because gratitude only exists in a state of having something. You're not grateful for something that you don't have because you don't have it. I suppose technically you could be grateful that you're not poor, but that's more a gratitude in the fact that you're wealthy as opposed to not poor. But you get what I mean. Gratitude exists where you have something that you would like to keep and that you're happy to have. So by practicing gratitude and just being appreciative of the things that you have, you place yourself in more abundant states of consciousness, and you'll actually, due to confirmation bias, you'll start noticing things that you're happy to be grateful for. Funny enough, even while recording this video right this moment, I just looked over there, and my daughter has 3 of the really big Pokemon squishies that are like £40 each, £50 each. And I kind of just looked, and for a very brief moment, voice crack, just thought, I'm really grateful that I have the money to be able to spend on that. One of them's been drawn all over with pen by her, and it doesn't matter because I've got enough money to buy them without thinking, oh my God, if she ruins it, that's it, I can't get her anything else again. So by practicing even just a little bit of gratitude here for the purposes of this video, my mind was already looking at little things that I could be grateful for. And if you're in a state of gratitude, abundance, like I said earlier, you get more of what you are, not what you want. And where focus goes, energy flows. You will create more things in your reality to be grateful for. You'll find more money flowing in. You'll find more better opportunities, better friendships, and so on, finding their way to you because you are in a grateful state. And therefore, you must get more things to be grateful for. So gratitude, it could literally just be a couple of little things in a notepad in the morning. 5 things, big and small, that you are grateful for. But make gratitude a daily practice because you'll get more things to be grateful for. And think of how amazing you feel when you get someone something and they are over the moon grateful for it. Comparative to someone where you get someone something and they're like, oh, thanks. Imagine that, but constantly. Imagine the kind of person that you'd become if you can be grateful for the little things, and imagine how much people are going to want to be around you when you're like that. So definitely practice gratitude. Now, point number 3 is nervous system regulation. Kind of flowing into point 4, leaving it a little bit of space. Nervous system regulation is something that a lot of people need to do a lot more of. With the doom scrolling, with the ease of overconsumption, with the fear mongering of all the different wars and stuff going on at the moment. I say fear mongering is probably not the right word. With the irrational fear that a lot of people have due to the wars going on at the moment, and all of this person's been cloned out and that person is under this sort of thing and these people are doing this. A lot of people are very scared and their nervous system is absolutely fried. This, believe it or not, has a significant impact on your electromagnetic field. The electromagnetic field is actually the very thing that I was talking about with your aura. Your heart actually has, I believe it's a 3 feet. So I have a 3 feet or 3 meters electromagnetic field that other people can physically pick up on in the moment. When one's nervous system is dysregulated and out of whack, it has a negative impact on those kinds of things. And this will bring greater anxieties, easier time being anxious, easier states of depression, less calmness, more erraticness. The sympathetic nervous system will be active, which is associated with fight, flight, or freeze, and a number of different negative things basically to deal with. And did I write anything about it here? And as it says here, the less you stress, the more you control. You've probably had something in the past where you've just been like, this, if it happens, it happens. And it either doesn't end up happening, or if it does, it's nowhere near as bad as you think it is. But those things that you super stress about, when they do happen, your stress is pretty accurate. Because the less you stress, the more you control. And subsequently, the more you stress, the less you control. So the more that your nervous system is dysregulated, just simply the less control you will have over your reality. The less control you'll have over how you conduct yourself in situations, how things happen to you, the kinds of things that you are drawing to you, the signs, the synchronicities, the experiences. The more stressed you are, the worse those things are going to be. So it stands to reason that by practicing nervous system regulation, you can keep yourself a lot more calm, a lot more content, keep the parasympathetic nervous system activated, which is associated with rest and digest, and subsequently make yourself a more peaceful person to be around and a more peaceful person in general. And the more peaceful you are, the more peace you bring to yourself and others, just simply the more people are going to want to be around you. And your energetic frequency will just simply be at a higher level than someone who is erratic, anxious, depressed, and so on. So what I urge you to do is practice nervous system regulation. Daily meditation, for example, daily breathwork practices, for example, putting your phone down an hour before bed so that you can get good rest. Things like that. Do things to benefit your nervous system, to benefit your nervous system. For me personally, I do daily breath work and I do daily meditation. I do a lot of daily reflecting as well. And whenever I have something that's kind of a little bit of a irritation in the moment, I'll try and take myself away and just do a few moments of deep and deliberate breathing. But that's just what I do. I urge you to look into things that would benefit you. EFT tapping could be amazing for you. Thought journaling could be amazing for you. Doesn't matter what it is, but make a daily practice of nervous system regulation and things to benefit your general well-being, such as good diet, avoiding doom scrolling and things like that, good rest periods and things of that nature. The more regulated your nervous system is, typically speaking, the more elevated your state of consciousness will be, because the people around you will feel that you are a more calm and content person. And if they can feel it physically, then the universe is feeling it energetically. The fourth and final point is avoiding false highs. I put false highs there, but I mean avoiding it. This looks like vices. This looks like doom scrolling, adult content, drinking, drugs, anything like that. Things that give you those cheap dopamine spikes with very little effort. Now, there's a couple of reasons why, but the main reason I want to talk about for the purposes of this video is it takes away from the other things. Let's take doom scrolling, for example. It's so much easier to sit on the sofa and doom scroll than it is to work on building your body or work on your business or your hobby. So by doom scrolling, you're giving your mind cheap dopamine spikes that are going to make it go, well, why would I want to go to the gym today? And therefore, a lot of people don't, which is why, it's recommended to do all the things you're supposed to do first. But with the gratitude, you see people online with better physiques than you, with more attractive boyfriends and girlfriends, and on planes with fancy cars and stuff. And it makes you look at your car and think, oh, well, mine's a piece of shit. Or it makes you look in the mirror and go, oh, well, I don't have that guy's absolutely huge traps and things like that. So it takes away from the gratitude. It makes it harder to be grateful for the kind of life you have created for yourself, which, where focus goes, energy flows. If you're in lack because you're negatively thinking about your life, you're going to get more negatives as a result. But it takes away from the ability to be grateful. And specifically with doom scrolling, although the other vices that I mentioned have the effect as well, but when doom scrolling, between every meme, there's like 3 or 4 terrible things, about how awful the world is and yada, yada, yada. So your nervous system is out of whack. I myself, I got off social media entirely because it was literally like that. I'd see one funny meme that I could send to my friends and to my partner, and then the next 3 would be about the E-files, or it'd be about some celebrity being sacrificed or swapped out for some clone and things like that. And I was like, why am I even sitting here for the sake of one chuckle every 4 videos? I have to then watch all of this other conspiracy stuff with all the creepy music in the background, which drives me nuts and dysregulates my nervous system. I wouldn't be lying to you. I'd be lying to you if I said that there wasn't a couple of times I felt a little bit of like anxiety in that moment about where the world's going. So I got off of it because my nervous system doesn't need more dysregulation than it already has due to just general life stresses. But of course, this could go for anything. If you're needing the highs of drugs or alcohol, makes it more difficult to commit to your mission, makes it more grateful for the things that you have when you're sober, nervous system dysregulated, and so on and so forth. And just generally speaking, the less you engage in vices, the more elevated as an individual you are. The more disciplined you'll be, the more consistent at what you're working towards you'll be, the nicer you'll be around, the nicer you are to be around, and so on. Now, I know I'm not unrealistic to say that you can just completely cut out every vice that's ever existed. I mean, I've got off of social media, but that doesn't stop me from going to the barbershop and hearing the people next to me talk about the E-files, or going to the supermarket and overhearing a conversation about Jim Carrey's been swapped out and things like that. So social drinking as well, sometimes your friends have a few and you just want to socially drink or have a smoke with them, things like that. I understand that not every vice could be completely cut out. So when that's the case, I do urge you to do the best you can. I'm not going to sit here and say everything in moderation, because I think that is just a cope for people to be like, oh, well, I'm engaging in moderation just because I'm not addicted. It's okay. If it's taking away from you doing these other things, try and drop it as much as possible. Myself, I love a good cigar. I have about one every 2 or 3 weeks at most, because I don't want the fact that I enjoy cigars and I do get like the momentary dopamine spike of a smoke of cigars isn't quick, but just for the purposes, a quick, easy cigar. I don't want that to take away from the spikes of building my business or from my gratitude and things like that. So where I do have my own vices as well, and therefore I'm not trying to sit here on some ivory tower telling you that you're wrong for having them, just try to keep them under control and limit as much as possible so you can elevate your frequency in these other areas. Now, this obviously is a bit of a quick fire video regarding these points. I am more than happy to do a longer, more in-depth on any specific one if you would like me to. I didn't do a lot of diagrams and writing and stuff in this one as I normally would, to try and keep it quick. But I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know. Drop me a like and a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to click that bell icon. If you do want me to do any longer video on any of these particular topics or other things, comment then down below. If you would like my help to help you guide toward a better reality more specific to you, so you don't have to use this general content and try and figure it out on your own, I do have services available. And I also do have my Elite Academy that a bunch of new people have joined actually lately, so I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And they're all doing really well, and I would love to have you there. So if you want to skip the general content, if you want to skip trying to figure it out on your own, I'm there to help you. Just click the link down below in the description or the comment section. But for now, thank you very much for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.